Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to talk about Sunday night's episode of Big Brother 24.
That's right. We also have some Veto spoilers, some live feed info for you. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Yay! Chantele, thank you for joining me on a Monday.
It's my pleasure. I mean, you know that I'm a Big Brother super fan, and how the season was going at the beginning, I was kind of like, I didn't want to cover it, especially I was already covering Love Island, and that was every day, and then Love Island USA was going to start. I was like, maybe it's just too much. Maybe I'm not supposed to cover Big Brother this season. And so I'm very happy when people ask me to come and talk about it, because I get my fix without feeling, the responsibility of going live after every episode, which is what I would have wanted to do. But the season in the beginning wasn't a show that I wanted to cover. Now it is, but back then.
Right. Yeah, now you're into it, right? Now
Absolutely.
It surprisingly got better. It's
shocking. It's shocking. Because I was really like, at one point I was like, maybe I just don't like Big Brother. Maybe I've outgrown Big Brother. Maybe this is what it always was. And I just I had a disillusioned idea of what the show actually was. But then it fixed itself. Thank goodness.
It did.
All order came back.
Karma said, y'all have had a rough couple years. Let's get up in here. You know what? This cast definitely needs to be get some Zingbot up in there. Yeah.
Hopefully Zingbot is a better zinger this time around, because he hasn't been the best at sings. When does Zingbot usually come around? Final 9?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely jury time. Yeah, like
usually a lot of people.
8 or 9. Yeah. Well, hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with Sunday's episode. Indy's going to let us know right off the bat here, Not Happy Taylor has joined her bestie group.
And it's kind of like with Indy, like, I don't really remember that she's on the show. And then when I do remember she's on the show, I'm like, oh, okay, let's go back to not remembering you're on the show, because what energy you're bringing is not it. I would rather her being fake and then being like, oh, I had to go put that on because I'm playing a game. But I'd rather her doing that than being under the covers with glasses, speaking in one-word sentences.
She's
it's just
giving
so
us nothing. She's genuinely giving us nothing. And I've never watched BB Brazil, but I'm under the impression it's kind of wild and crazy, right?
I would assume it's like BB Australia.
I think so, a little bit, where they
style-wise
crazy tasks and stuff. It seems a bit over the top from what I've heard. So I want her to just be over the top, just be obnoxious and crazy, and then go be a star on BB Brazil. If you can't be a great player, give me something.
It's not working for me. None of it. Even last week when she was trying to save herself, she didn't really do a good job there. I'm like, I don't know what game you're playing, but it's not Big Brother US, and you should know by now that the game is not to try to oust Taylor. Have you not learned that that's not working?
Go. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, she's miserable. Great. Nobody cares. Daniel is also miserable. He is gonna pout. He is gonna say things to people like no one is playing Big Brother, and he worked 10 years to be here, and he's stuck with these people.
And okay, I get him being salty. His best friend was just evicted. All the people that promised him that they were going to vote to keep Nicole, they didn't. They went with the house, and there's only going to be one winner. But don't you realize if you're the only person that didn't vote correctly, that maybe you're on the outs, and so maybe you should be being nice to people?
Yeah, no one's playing your Big Brother. You're mad that they're all playing a different game. Alyssa is going to come in and be like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no, you're not.
Poor, and she looked terrified. She looked so scared to talk to him.
She doesn't know what to say after that. She's like, okay, And I'll back out of the
know.
room now.
Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh.
I
Ugh. Now he's gonna, I guess this is the house meeting that he was gonna call and blow up. He was like, if Nicole goes, I'm gonna blow it up and have a house meeting. So I guess that's what this was, where he's like, Monty, well, this is it. Good job. I mean, all the respect. You're going to final two. I guess you went in Michael. I mean, you got my vote.
But it's like, also don't do that because you haven't
Yeah.
had the head of household competition yet. So you might need to be kissing someone's butt. So don't be like the loudmouth that's blowing up people's games. Not the right time.
Mm-mm.
Not the right time.
Yeah. I was like, if this is your blowing up house meeting, it's a little wimpy, but also, yeah, save it. Save it. What if you'd won HOH and then you could have like really lit into these people?
Yes. And they would be all just
Right?
groveling. You got to just hold back.
Yeah.
Hold back.
Just
Oh my God,
take a
just
beat.
a train is going by and I just see everything shaking. So that's why I'm shaking right now.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear. I can feel it. That's it.
Oh.
But I'm kind of close to train tracks. I just noticed. I'm like, what's happening? But then I'm feeling like the rumble, and so yeah, there is a train going by. Sorry.
I have had earthquakes in the middle of streams.
I mean, I don't think this is an earthquake because this usually happens. But yeah, just so you're not terrified that an earthquake actually is happening. It is a train.
Okay, good. Yes, love Toronto. All right. So, Daniel, you're able to convince all these people to go with the herd, Monty. Y'all can't split the check. You know, he's going to go on and on and on. And Kyle is going to be like, oh, dude, don't get us on the block.
Yeah, like we learned that Kyle is definitely not wanting to do his part of his leftover duty by going up on the block next to Daniel. He's super worried that they would turn on him, and so I'm sure that he's like, oh, liability Daniel right now.
Yeah, seriously, I think that this is part of Kyle's problem that we can talk more about later, but he is just going to spiral into paranoia, and it's because his bestie here is not helping anything, painting a huge target on his back. Monty is ultimately like, hey, we can have a one-on-one here, but like all of this in front of everybody is just like, what are you doing? And honestly, Daniel's not helping himself. He's talking in circles, but Taylor does sit on the stairs with some lays.
Taylor with the lays. Can't wait for her comic because she's just gonna be taking out people one by one with her lays.
She's gonna be like, with the lays.
With the lays.
I do believe she said that the DR told her something about get the lays. So,
well, I don't know where I heard it, but that every time she keeps on going to the diary room, they keep on telling her to bring the lays. So she knows that it's now a bit.
It's a bit, yeah. Always have delays. We love it. All right, let's go play this HOH. They're calling it Poochellapalooza. Poochellapalooza. Gotta love it when you're a house guest and they name a comp after you.
That's true, especially when you're holding dog poop. But so we were talking about it yesterday. I talked with David Bloomberg and Taryn after the episode, and we're trying to figure out like what festival this was. And then I was thinking that there is a dog fest that happens once a year here in Toronto. I was thinking like, oh, maybe it was going to be like a poodle fest or whatnot, but no, there's like it's like a scruff fest, or I can't remember the name now. I should have looked it up. Sorry, before I brought it up. But there is a festival for dogs where like there's different vendors that come up and have all their different dog treats, and like another vendors with like dog outfits and stuff like that. And so like everybody comes to this place. It's near Woodbine Racetrack, I believe, and it has like it kind of is a Poochellapalooza.
Well, there you go. I mean, there have to be festivals for everything. So I feel like that's what the Big Brother producers are like. We can literally do a festival off of anything. Let's do balance beams at a dog park. Why not?
I mean, I didn't even think about the fact that to relate what the actual task was, because like what were they avoiding? What was happening?
Yeah.
Was it kind of like Best in Show though, where it's like taking dogs out on like a course?
Yeah, maybe the house guests are the dogs.
They're the best in show. But it's
Yeah.
usually not about speed.
No, it's not. Not at all. Mm-mm. I think maybe they just couldn't step in the park of dog poop. The
Okay.
ground is full of dog poop,
Okay.
and they're like, the floor is lava, but the floor is dog poop.
Fair. What
No,
happened to Turner
none of
then?
this makes sense. Do not say fair. This is all no. It was silly, but we don't question these things because it's a game show. What?
Fair. One thing that we were also talking about, and I wonder if you agree, why do they show the house guests the time to beat? And who has
Oh.
like they could still show like who may have the best time, but maybe just like hiding their actual time so like they don't know how slow or how fast that they have to be, and it just might create a little bit more suspense. The fact that Michael, no spoiler alert, got such a fast time that people were able to see that, and they're see like, oh, Michael's ahead right now. I don't need to do that well. So I don't know. They need to workshop some of these timed events because there was no suspense or drama in this one at all.
Huh, that's an interesting perspective. I like it because it makes people rush and fall.
So you like people hurting themselves. Okay.
Well, not necessarily, but I
I'm
just
kidding.
like them to feel the pressure, right? Because they know you're like, honestly, you don't know how long it takes you to go on these beams, right? But you're like, oh, that's a fast time. Okay, I gotta like rush.
But you can kind of
And
easily throw it as well when you're just like, oh, my person's in the lead and its
yeah,
time's really good, so I'm not gonna hurt myself.
yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't bother me when people throw it, but I certainly was more excited when like Kyle was like rushing for it and like trying to beat it here.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle's
Yeah.
worried that he's gonna go up on the block. So, but I just I guess, like, the order of events is maybe why it was less
Mhm.
exciting, because
Right.
Daniel started out of the gate really strong. Michael was up second, and then nobody was able to touch either of their numbers. So
Right.
I think that
That's
maybe it's the
true.
order. So Taryn was suggesting like maybe in editing they change up the order because it doesn't really matter to us what happens. Like the outcome's still going to be the same or something. But yeah, the order I also really didn't help with like it being interesting. Even though I knew what was happening, I was just kind of like,
Right. We knew who was HOH, but you're right. We're usually it's like later in the order somebody is going to get the fastest time, but we got it right off of the top here. All right, well let's go through this. So Daniel's going to get 1649 really quickly, and Michael's going to say no, thank you. 1179 is how it's done, and Daniel's like, what? Then, like you said, Joseph's like, whatever, I'll fall. Jasmine.
that was funny. That was very funny.
What was that?
It was like an inchworm slide.
Look, you have a boot on. You're not going to do well in this. We know. But she doesn't even look like she's trying. She was like, step, step, step. Oh, was it 11 seconds? Oh.
Like she literally went 1 foot. I mean,
hilarious.
at least she tried. She doesn't seem to try a lot of things, so at least she tried. She got up on the beam.
The doctors have cleared me for this competition, but between my fear of balance beams and my anxiety of dog poop, I am not going to compete in this. We could have heard that. That's true.
Maybe she did say that, and they're like, "Sorry, you're going to compete here."
Like they're like, just step up there and step down, okay? All right, Alyssa's gonna run out of time. Terrence is gonna fall. Brittany's gonna run out of time. She's trying though. Taylor's trying.
Oh my
she
god,
falls.
Taylor was scaring me because I didn't want her to hurt herself.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, she wasn't like, I feel like she could have been fast, but I don't know why she was so off kilter. And so I was worried that she was going to fall and hurt herself.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is not worth getting injured over. Like Jasmine pointed out, let's not actually put effort into it. Yeah, I was worried about her as well. Then Kyle, he got so close. He was like a couple seconds, I think, off, don't you think?
I mean, it stops the buzzer when you get to 1180, but yeah, he was pretty fast.
But it was like just maybe 2 steps.
But like, that's not a good look. Pretty much everybody in your lines is able to see that you weren't just going to allow Michael to keep that when you know that the target of your lines right now is Daniel. Kyle.
Got Tiffany in a lot of trouble last year. Gotta be careful. Indy's gonna run out of time, and then Turner face plants. Another person scary. That I was like, don't get injured.
And like, I don't know, it looked too painful for them to do a slow-mo. I don't know if it was the right fall for a slow-mo, because I wasn't laughing. I was like, is he okay?
Right. No, it was worrisome. It was not a pretty fall. It did not look good. And I think it was Taylor who was like, "Are you okay?" Like,
he's like, "Oh yeah, now I'm gonna have concerning. like video montage of that fall."
Yeah.
No. So can you ride a bike? Before I like question the fact that Alyssa cannot ride a bike, which I thought was, I just didn't know that was a thing.
Wait, did she say that? I missed that.
Yeah, she's like, oh, like me and balance aren't great because like I can't even ride a bike.
Oh my gosh, look, we just talked about this with swimming for the challenge. It's hard for me to imagine an adult who can't swim, but I know that exists.
That's more of a likelihood, I would think, for the fact that there are fears of water for multitude of reasons. Like, I don't like water because one time when I was 8 years old, I was carried out in the tow at Newport Beach, and like I had to be like, just relax your body and you will be okay. And like, I just like, okay, I'll just go limp. And then I was taken out so far, and like I literally thought I was gonna die. If I didn't go limp, I probably would have like drowned. And so I had to like swim back. Like I was like 8, and like I just pretended like nothing happened, but I was so scared.
And that is scary.
So like I understand things like that happening and not wanting to swim. But I still know how to swim. I still took swimming lessons, you know?
No, we do. I was just about to say, Kathy, in Florida, like the weather is gorgeous all the time. Like you're always outside riding your bike.
Well, like, yeah, getting those tandem bikes, or like, I don't know. I feel like you ride a bike on the boardwalk. Is that a thing? No?
We don't have boardwalks in Florida, but yes, we have sidewalks and we have swamps, and just ride your bike through the swamp. It's, yeah, riding your bike should be a normal thing. I don't know.
It's like a mandatory kid thing.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to ride a bike when I was 4. Yeah, 4. Like without training wheels. Because I remember it's actually a sad story. I guess I'm going to tell you catastrophe stories. But I remember like I had a strawberry shortcake bicycle, and I finally, like, it was like a banana seat bike, and like, you know, strawberry shortcake. And I had one training wheel on, and my dad was like, okay, it's time to take off the other training wheel. So I was like, okay. And so we're going down like the hill on our street, and he was running behind me holding the back, and he's running behind me, and then he lets go, and I looked back to check if he was still holding on, and he wasn't, and I was like, ah! Like, and I went into the curb, and for the longest time I had the hugest bump on my lip. Like you can still feel the scar tissue on the inside, but I remember like, ah! Like, but I got back up on that bike.
Oh, yay!
But I remember it was like, ah!
Yeah. Oh, I remember being all skint up because I lived on a hill too. And like you get that speed, and then I'm just like, like I have no control over the bike, and you're just gonna eat it at some point. And luckily I didn't break any bones, but yeah, I was all skint up on riding a bike. Oh, that's so bonkers. I missed that when she said that.
Yeah, she was doing it when she was going across the beam. It was like a voiceover for saying that. But I was like, man, like I learned how to ride a bike at 4. Like what happened? Like, why did you not learn to ride a bike at 4? And even now, like they have those bikes where it teaches you balance. So it doesn't have any wheels, but it has the 2 wheels where you kind of just like, you use your feet kind of as the pedals, and you just kind of like, anyways, that's like a new thing that they have for kids. And so I would assume that she would have at least had that to give it a whirl. Just to practice like what it's like to start balancing. But I want to know more.
What a neglected childhood.
Like maybe she has vertigo or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe her parents tried, and they'll sit down with us and be
like
like,
an
"Trust
inner
me,
ear
we
thing.
tried." Yeah, and she just
But
couldn't pick it up.
it's
All
wild.
right. Well, she does not do well. Michael and Brittany, let's celebrate! Yay! Michael is HOH. He is officially a comp beast.
He needs to settle down.
He needs to, yeah, just slow your roll there, buddy.
I mean, I don't know when this happened, but he was saying like, "Oh, I know that like I shouldn't be winning this much, but like he's like, but I kind of have to because nobody
Yeah.
else seems to."
Well, in the twist, I mean, he and Brittany, I mean, he thought it was a great idea to take Brittany on, but that was before leftovers. So, he's kind of in a sticky situation where he does need, it's not horrible for him to win because otherwise he'd probably be on the block.
Well, in general, though, I think it was a bad idea for him to go. I know that he thought at that point that he would go against Britney because Britney was kind of like the next public enemy. But he's friends with Britney, and he had at least like a final two or let's stick together type thing. I can't remember if him and Taylor and the three of them had solidified something yet. But I wouldn't want to sit beside somebody that I actually like. Right? So I would just most likely go in to try to sit beside somebody that I didn't like. I don't remember the order, so maybe he didn't have a choice. I don't remember all those.
He had choices. He threw it so that he could pick her.
Right. So that was a bad decision.
I think he thought like I can save her because at that time she was a bit of a target, and he was like, "Well, I can win vetoes and I can save her if we're put in that position."
That's the case.
Was how he was feeling back then. But yeah, things have changed. And Jen, I'm so proud of you for learning at 21.
Wow.
Good for you.
Wow. I mean,
it's got to be harder as an adult to learn.
Definitely would be harder as an adult. I know a lot of adults that are going to take swimming lessons later on in life. Mm-hmm. But I always put that with like learning how to drive because like I don't drive really right now, but I learned how to drive when I was 16. And so I had my best friend learn how to drive when she was like 30. I was like, oh, that must be scary. Because like, when you're 16, 17, like pretty carefree, like, I'm think I'm so cool, like standard. And I don't know if I'd be that like,
no.
chill and relax.
Now you'd be like, get off of me. Get away.
A bike's coming. A lot more skittish. So that's very impressive to learn at 21, but I'm happy that you did because I think it's amazing that's just something that it's a universal feeling that everybody kind of knows. A lot of people know. And
empowering. Get out there. It's freeing. Ride a bike, swim, drive, all of these things. Independence. I love it. All right, so they talk here about backdooring Daniel. Taylor's going to come in, join the celebration, and they don't fully show it here in this edit, but he does tell Taylor she is safe, not even going up as a pawn.
Which is just music to my draft. Like, will I get draft points this week? Will I get above negative?
You're not gonna lose any more draft points this week.
Goodness gracious.
That's at least what we can ask for. Let me see what you have. You have no, you didn't lose anymore.
Wait, you have Michael, right?
I lost.
Finally.
I don't have Michael. Jessica has Michael. She is flying into the lead here. But I lost points because I've got two of these people. But we're not there yet. So Taylor, Indy, and Alyssa. Taylor's like, gotta be friends with my besties, hoping the upside is obviously I can't go after them if I'm in their group. And again, Indy is just silent in bed with sunglasses.
Way to make yourself unlikable. I'm sorry, Indy. Like, come on. Taylor, I need to know, what has Taylor done? And why is it so bad that Taylor can win the game? It's like, a lot of people can win the game if they stay in the house. Like, why is it so terrible that Taylor might be able to win the game? Which I don't really see the logic there, considering everybody seems to dislike Taylor. So that means they won't get her the win. Like, I do not think at this point that she will be able to sway a lot of the votes. And so like for the fact that Indy's thinking this, I'm just like, she's not going to get to the end most likely. Like she's still an enemy of a lot of people. So Indy, I don't know, her rationale is not working for me.
No, I feel like this is like just an excuse, right? I feel like this is the best thing she can say. Like
She's going to win
instead
the
of
game.
being mean to Taylor, she's like, I can just say she's a winner. Yeah, and it also makes me think, Indy, do you even know how the end game works here in America? Like, I don't know how it works in Brazil. Maybe
I think it's an audience vote.
So maybe she thinks the audience votes here, and we would vote for Taylor to win.
It's true.
But that's not how it works, Indy.
Right? Like, I mean, depending on the jury, she could have a good chance if she's against a non-leftover and all leftovers are in the jury, then Taylor could definitely win. But she still has an uphill battle against a lot of people. Right now, it's definitely not a shoo-in for her to win.
No. Absolutely not. I mean, her and Brittany did make a little final too, because they were like, we can't get votes unless we're sitting next to each other. Like they don't like us, which is true.
It's true. And I'm happy that they both at least recognize this so that they are working with that knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle and Joseph are goofing off, and Kyle touched Jasmine's foot. And Turner is in an episode of The Office and is just mugging to the camera and so over Jasmine.
Roll back the tapes. Like I bet you she didn't touch it at all. I cannot believe the turnaround we've had on Turner. Like preseason, we didn't want to pick him on our draft. I think he might have been undrafted. I don't know. I can't remember this one.
He is not. He is the one person not drafted in the Nerdtainment draft.
He wasn't drafted in another draft. Like, it's just like a lot of people weren't willing to draft him just because it appeared that he was maybe problematic.
And that his interviews were not great.
Fair.
And his sister
has that beef with like Mr. Beast and all this stuff. So there's just like all this drama that was going on that just was like, everyone's just like, we don't like him already. And like, he's like our hero of the season. Like
he's one of the saviors.
Turner saved the season.
And even if he's not playing game, he is so entertaining. And messing with Jasmine is one of the most entertaining things.
It's so delightful.
It's so delightful.
And also like what I like about Turner as well is that even when we saw Taylor doing her speech at the last eviction, and he's just there like,
he's like,
like he's so encouraging to her. And so I'm just happy that he's here, that he ended up becoming the voice of reason. He started to look at his past actions and how they were contributing to this bullying and these things that were going on, and that he was just listening to the group mentality, and like he was able to self-edit and turn things around. And now he might be my second favorite player, maybe third. I'll say third right now.
Of this season.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. And isn't that like, it just goes to show you, you don't have to do much to get back in our good graces. If you just have like a little self-awareness, say, oh, whoops, I messed up. I got caught up, whatever. And then, change your behavior. Like, it's not that hard.
It's so easy to be loved by us. Like, we're so
right.
forgiving.
We want to love you. We really do.
We want to watch the season. We do. So thank you.
Most of these house guests are like, won't do it. Thanks. Nope.
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
But so I was thinking about that foot hit, and like, I don't think he touched the foot, but I think that what happened is that she pulled back her foot in fear of the impact, and that abrupt motion caused maybe a flexing that might have been uncomfortable. But I don't think that he actually hit the foot.
Well, either way, if he did hit it, it wasn't hard. And if she just jerked her foot, it's not hard. It does not require a big scene. It does not require anyone to go run to get ice.
I mean, am I just like very tough? Because I mean, I've never really broken a bone or anything, but I've definitely had pain before.
Yeah.
I just feel like what happened to her, I would probably still do ballet and do point. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I still would. I would just work through the pain. I would be like, I don't want the scooter. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I don't even want the boot. Like I would probably be not wanting to have either of those things. I'm like, I got to keep walking on it because I don't want to become stiff and immobile. So,
Hi, Josh.
hi Josh.
Yes. I mean, she is pure entertainment with this kind of stuff. Like the fact that she is like, oh, I can walk on it. I mean, today she had her cane in the pool. Like she is out of her mind.
In the pool.
Like,
but the pool is supposed to be like low impact. Like
you can float in the pool. And she has her cane in the pool. Like this stuff is pure entertainment to me because it's ridiculousness. But I have to be honest with you guys, and I almost have pulled out photos, but this is a few years ago, so I got to find the photo. I broke a toe, and I was in a boot, and there is a photo of me driving one of those carts in Target off of a broken toe. So like I can't judge too much because one toe took me out for like 6 weeks and I was hobbling all over the place.
6 weeks.
Yes.
Was it your big toe?
No, it was like the one almost to my pinky.
That took you out?
Yes, I could not walk for 6 weeks. It was so obnoxious. I have stairs in my house. I was out of my mind. So
I mean, you're one of them. Okay. I'm just teasing.
We're both fire signs. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
She's fire? Brittany?
She's a Leo.
No, she's not.
Jasmine is a Leo,
Aries
moon, Chantele.
Ew. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I mean, Aries moon, I can tell that. Are you sure? I don't remember her being a Leo. I thought the only
birthday's coming up.
I thought the only Leo was Michael and Joseph.
Joseph's
I feel like she
Leo,
was.
Is he?
Joseph just had his birthday. Fuck this
Going
birthday.
Back to notes. Oh, that's right. Joseph turned 25. I forgot. How dare I forget?
On the 24th, I believe.
I'm double checking my notes. Yeah, Leo.
What? No, I just I thought she was like something like a Scorpio or something annoying. No. Sorry, any Scorpios.
Nope. She's Leo, all
so there's
fire.
3 Leos in there.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
August 17th.
Maybe our original list had her as something else, and maybe that I just didn't adopt that new information. I mean, she definitely is a Leo. Like that's not strange to me at all. No, I just thought
the Leo Aries combo, I think, is her 100%. Like it is always about her. It is never. You what? Say it again.
I thought maybe Taurus because she loves food. You know what I mean?
Oh,
she's kind of stubborn.
She could be a rising Taurus. Yeah. That's true.
We did. Oh, someone sent me actually. I think everybody's birthdays. Did I send that?
Oh yeah, you sent that to me, but it doesn't have risings. But yes, you did send that to me. I don't know if it has more info on there. Double check it while I talk. Double check. It's in my. It's in the Instagram you sent me. Mm-hmm. Look, we love a Leo. David's a Leo. There are wonderful Leos. If you pair that with an Tiffany's a Leo. If you pair that with an Aries moon, it is just a double dose of
brattiness.
It all about her.
Yes. Well, me.
Yeah.
So like Mars is kind of like a combative energy, and that's what rules Aries. And so having that being how you're emotionally satisfied is like through this Mars energy. Like definitely she would have been a very challenging child, I would assume.
Oh my gosh, right? Well, we can all see that. Yeah. All right. Joseph and Monty, they have a little talk about, hey, if we are pawns, it looks good, actually. Like we're playing our part in the alliance, the leftovers, like we're doing our thing. But also to the house, it kind of like keeps alliances, in the dark a little bit. If they go up as pawns. So we see that little conversation before we move into Muffin Gate. Did you find it?
Yes, so you are correct. She is a Leo sun. She is in Aries mood. She's also her Mercury's in Leo, so that is a lot of dominant
Yeah.
energy. So how she communicates with people is like, "Hey, it's all about me. Make sure you cater to me. I am like the sun. You revolve
Yeah.
around me." So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how she communicates, and that's how her ego understands the world. So
Yay, look at all our Leos. Happy birthday, guys.
love Leos. Leos is one of my favorite signs. It's
Oh,
my
you guys
opposite.
are, yeah, you guys are so entertaining. We love it. Muffin Gate, y'all. Well, those of us who watch feeds, we've been enjoying this for days, but they are going to give us a little bit of it here in the edit. How much do you love Muffin Gate, Chantele?
I okay, I knew about Muffin Gate, obviously, and like everybody is doing their own little like super cuts of like Muffin Gate. And so I've been very much entertained with like, what's the update on Muffin Gate? You know, that's more entertaining than what's going on in the house sometimes, it's like the live feeds. So watching this, I was so thoroughly satisfied that I feel like I need to see an entire episode of like Turner versus Jasmine and like her just like with the cane and the boot and like interrogating everyone like the music that they put behind it, it was just so funny, all of it. I haven't laughed out loud anytime soon that I can remember on Big Brother, and I literally was laughing out loud because I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, they did a really good job of giving us this. Yeah, there's plenty more. I mean, they could have had her crawling on the floor, on the couch, hiding behind the couch for a while.
Maybe they're saving that for next for
right. Maybe there'll be another
2.
one because he does go
More.
back. There's more. Yeah. But ultimately, Jasmine's real excited about her 2 muffins in a baggie, and then come to find out half is missing. The part that I loved though was her hobbling up the stairs, like praying, like, I'm trying not to go off here. Give me the strength, Lord. Lord, give me the strength. Who took my muffin? Like that was so real to me. Like I gotta keep it together. But who took my muffin?
But like it has to be Jasmine that has the boot and the cane at the same time. Like it's just like, you know, it's just like visually, it's so funny just to seeing her like just stumbling around like where's my muffin? It's all so funny, and I'm so happy that it exists. I'm happy that they're even hashtagging Muffingate. Go CBS for picking up on trends. I think this is one of the best storylines of the season.
Yeah.
And I was here for it.
They even show us she literally, guys, went into the DR. She said to the house, I'm gonna go. They're gonna rewind the footage. They're gonna tell me I'm going to the DR. You might as well tell me who did this. Like she said that. She goes into the DR and they're like, no, we're not gonna do that.
We hear a voice of a producer. That's
yes!
Shocker. I was like,
how often do
trying
we
to figure out who it is. If I like, who's that?
I don't know that voice. They're like, no. And then the way they were like, Turner's like, yeah, it was me.
To Taylor?
Yeah.
like this is such an amazing, harmless prank. Like this is a prank that I can get behind. I don't really like scaring behind doors necessarily.
I know.
But this,
this
is hilarious.
Yeah. I agree.
Nobody's actually going to get hurt. It's just a muffin. It's probably stale.
No, right? But there's something extra fun about the fact that they're 2 besties that kind of got stuck with each other and they just drive each other bonkers.
Yeah, definitely the odd couple, like besties that hate each other.
Yeah.
You know,
a little bit of that. I like that. All right, let's move into game talk here. The leftovers minus Joseph are going to talk basically about what's the plan here. Taylor reminds everyone Daniel is the number 1 threat. She's like, I will not miss an opportunity here. And honestly, Turner's like, I will go up. My bestie can go home if you need me to go up. I'm fine with it.
And then you have Kyle being like not wanting to go up at all, knowing
Yeah.
that Daniel's the target for them.
Right?
But Turner's just like, me, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it. Totally fine. But then also Monty is going to volunteer here, which we already had been set up by. And just a little more context that they didn't show us in the edit. Michael, having already thought about all of these options, Turner and Jasmine are clearly a choice, but odds are that Jasmine is not going to be able to play whatever the veto is. So if he were to use them as pawns, they're not playing. They're not going to help him. It would be him against whoever the other person is that's chosen. And what if that is Kyle and Daniel, you know?
Exactly.
That's not a good choice.
Exactly. So, I mean, Jasmine's really allowing herself to go a lot further in this game for the fact that she's just useless.
Drag to final three.
I don't want her that far, though. I'm sorry.
She's gonna be dragged to the
You think
end.
final three? No, I think she'll be out like in two.
No. You think in two more?
Yeah, like I think she'll be out soon. Like, wait, who is left that will probably go out unless obviously things happen. So Daniel's most likely going to be out next if things go everybody's way. If that actually happens, then maybe Indy. And then I think Jasmine's up next. Or sorry, yeah, Jasmine. I keep on thinking Brittany and Jasmine are the opposite names this whole season. I feel like Jasmine is a Brittany and Brittany's a Jasmine sometimes. I'm just like, Nyeh. Anyways, Jasmine.
How dare you?
How dare I? I'm sorry.
How dare you? Michael is sure going to go along with this plan at this point, but he's telling us not sure that it is the right plan for him. He is considering all options at this point.
I mean, I think that was just a soundbite because I don't know if it's best right now for his game to go against his newly come together alliance that like would protect him at this point, right? Like his big worry was the fact that him and Brittany are festy besties, but they're also in the leftovers. And so he doesn't want there ever to be a scenario where they're put up together because he may be considered the bigger threat and sent home. So if to get your entire alliance mad at you right now wouldn't be the best since you wouldn't have any power next week. And one of them very easily, because everybody else that's been in that group has all won head of household other than Daniel. And so I wouldn't want to be disrupting that yet.
Well, let's talk about it more in detail because there is stuff here that was not included in the edit. I do think Michael was weighing some options, but let's get through this episode. Daniel's going to come up to talk to Michael. He talks about how they are both the comp beasts. They're the ones who have been winning comps. That is true. But Daniel says he has nothing left to lose. He has no one in the game, so he could play for Michael. And then Michael's like, oh, okay, well, maybe the veto doesn't get used. Kind of vibe, which is, these are all true things, but also Daniel has to say all of this.
True. I think that Daniel came in with a decent pitch, but I think that his past behaviors just didn't help him. Obviously all the stuff that happened up until Nicole's eviction wasn't really great, but then how he was acting, like, that's exactly why I was saying, like, hey, zip it until after the head of household competition, Daniel, because you might be kissing someone's butt that you are calling out as being like, hey, he's going to win this game. Just hand him the check, like all that stuff. You don't really want somebody that's willing to blow up your game as soon as their back is up against the wall. I'd be like, you might be a little bit of a liability here. What else are you going to do if you are in a tough situation? So he didn't play the rest of his game very well, but I thought that this conversation that he had with Michael had some good points.
Right. Exactly. Then Brittany's going to come in and talk to her bestie here, also her final two. And they do discuss that they can't go too far with Monty and Joseph. Michael has been very open for weeks that the end game of Big Brother in the recent years has been physical comp heavy, and he doesn't want competition for him with other physical type people. So they know they don't want to go to the end with Monty and Joseph. It's just a matter of what timing.
Mm-hmm.
When do they take them?
I get this, but I personally think that the move right now is to appease the group that came together to support Taylor by taking
Mhm.
out her two major opponents. And then I think that the slate is clean at that point. I believe it will most likely also be jury. And there maybe I'll be more into a little more flexibility. But at this point, I think that it's important just for what they were supposed to be standing for, and that was for Taylor. And so if Taylor really needs to have this person out because they really have been treating her terribly, I think the move is to kind of follow through with that.
Well, let's get to the noms. Michael is going to go through with the plan that the leftovers came together and put up Monty, Joseph, and Terrence, the bestie trio. They're going to be the initial nominees, with the group thinking that Daniel will be the backdoor target, but Michael is saying, let's see what happens with the veto. So let's talk about what happens with the veto. Chantele, you get to do a song and dance with me.
So excited.
All right, ready? And
Spoilers.
Hopefully that was okay. It's hard when we're in two different locations, but we're going to talk about the spoilers from the live feeds. So, guys, if you don't want the spoilers, feel free to exit at this time. But we did have a veto, and it was surprisingly Otev.
Is it early?
It's so early.
I feel like Otev is like jury phase.
Yes, definitely.
Why do you think that they put Otev so early?
I have no idea. This makes no sense. I mean, the comps this whole season have made no sense to me. I do know that Heath left. He's been in charge of comps since the beginning. So I know it's a new team. Maybe they just have other things they want to do later.
Sure, but like I don't know. Otev, it's usually like 8 people. Like there's only like a couple people that are not playing.
Right. Yeah.
Because like it's usually a landmark, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, we've made it to Otev, not like pre-jury.
Yeah. No, people are always like, oh, I just want to play, can I make it to Otev? And like these,
that's like having like Zingbot in like right now. Like that's too early. Too early. Like we're still in the beginning of the game. So like they don't even have that many like clues and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like usually with Otev, it's usually later on in the season, and they have like all these different, I don't know, like potions that you have to make with 2 different players of like maybe pre-jurors or whatever. But like there's usually more people to be thinking about when you're trying to solve these, not just 4 people. Unless it's for all the house guests, which is fine too. But it usually has to do with people that are not playing Otev, I think. I don't know. Whatever. Well, seems later on.
Guess who wins, guys? Our veto king. We have a veto king.
Veto king.
Michael is going to win his 4th veto in 5 weeks because one of them he didn't play.
And great. Like you want to have all the control this week. So fine. But this decision could literally cost you the game.
So here's how it comes down, though, because, you go, Michael, stop winning all the comps. But it came down to Monty, Joseph, Terrence, and Michael were the last 4. Then Monty and Joseph are out. It's down to Terrence and Michael. And Terrence says, I'm going to let you take it, Michael. Like Terrence had already planned with Daniel. Because side note, y'all, Terrence finally planted his flag in the sand and chose a side.
Anti-Taylor?
And it's Daniel.
It's so weird.
It's
so he wants the noms to stay the same? Like what's
Yes. Literally, Terrence and Daniel cooked up a plan where Terrence was going to throw this, keep noms the same, meaning keep himself on the block,
so he can be
so
evicted.
That they could
that would have been delicious, to be honest.
Exactly, because Terrence is who was going to be voted out, but because they thought they could make a play to get Monty out. They thought this is the big swing. We can get Monty out. And Terrence is like, yes, please. Like, this is the moment Terrence chose a side. And I was shook and shocked that it was this side that he chose. So he throws it to Michael. Now, granted, Michael might have still won and wanted to win and have all the power in his hand. I don't know. But he can use this ammo, which he does, to tell Monty and Joseph.
Well, wouldn't it have been funnier though
you.
if like Terrence had won that and then chose not to use it?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I would have loved to have seen that. And then Terrence more than likely goes home. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
What terrible reads. Like, I'm not sure. Like, obviously we have a fuller perspective, so we don't know what it's like to be like, they say that you can't read the label from inside the bottle. So I get that. But like, how is everybody so off with what's going on?
So many people are off. Such bad reads. And so many people just so willing to be on the block, even though 2 in a row have gotten themselves out.
By thinking that they could sit up on the block.
Yeah. Yet here we are. Once again, people thinking the same thing.
Like,
because even Monty and Joseph were like, yeah, it's cool. Like, if we don't get taken down, it's fine. Terrence goes. Like, 3 people are willing to sit on the block. Terrence wanting to throw a comp to stay on the block.
So like, and like, why are you hitching your wagon to Daniel?
Why?
Daniel. Like, you saw that he just got blindsided by the house. He's not in. He's not who you want to be searching your wagon to. Like,
and Monty and Joseph have like kept Terrence in the loop all game, like trying to keep him as like a number, like an ally. And Terrence is like, nah, I'm good. I won't stay with the people who could protect me. I'm going to go over with this guy who clearly doesn't know how to play the game and has gotten himself in a really bad spot.
I don't actually understand his rationale at this point. I'm like, I don't understand.
No, it's so bizarre. Okay, but there's so much more to talk about here, guys. All right, let's back it up. So, before Nicole left, Nicole tried to plant some seeds of paranoia, and they stuck with Kyle. She said Monty, Jasmine, and Taylor have a connection with the Alpha fraternity. Kyle, who I think has a really high dose of paranoia because he knows Daniel is a target and he would have to go on the block and he could potentially get pooched. Like, he's the only one realizing being on the block can backfire on you. He kind of ran this week with a group of people working together, and he was trying to pitch to Michael that they have to worry about Monty, Taylor, Terrence, Jasmine, Indy, and Joseph, that they're aligned. They're an alliance.
Because they all have a similar mission.
They're all, what does he say? Diverse backgrounds? Like, what? It's like,
this is your call. Like, you said that he was going to be this guy. You did say that.
This was what I was worried. This was what I was worried about. Yeah, preseason. And then I was like, wow, I'm pleasantly surprised by Kyle. What happened?
And his true colors came through.
It came out this week. He also mentioned he's not sleeping. I think it was a perfect storm of stressful environment and some implicit biases came out that, honestly don't make sense because hello, Taylor in no way is working with Jasmine. Are you kidding me?
No. And Indy hates Taylor.
Yes.
Like, where's the evidence for this other than the fact that they have diverse backgrounds? Where is the evidence of this? Is it just you trying to figure out a reason to gather all the white people together and target the people of color? Is just trying to find a reason? Because there's no evidence of what you're proposing to be true, like at all.
None.
And what I also think is really interesting is how he's spiraling is similar to how Paloma spiraled. And I'm just wondering if it's, they both of them are seeming to be a little bit problematic in the sense of their implicit biases allowing them to, affecting their game and their strategy, and then not sleeping and then start spiraling. And he's spiraling in my opinion, and it's not obviously as manic as Paloma's became, but it's a little bit worrisome. So I'm wondering if it's like part of it is putting on that mask of being like open-minded and like, and like
he was like, I can only do it so long, guys.
I can only pretend that I'm
crashing
inclusive.
and burning here.
I'm not inclusive. Come on, you thought I was inclusive? No.
Oh no. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like he and Michael and Brittany had already talked about like forming a new little group, like, hey, we can't be leftovers strong forever, and these are normal conversations to have. And also Kyle's got this conflicted thing with Alyssa where he like wants to be in a showman so bad, but he like doesn't want anyone to hold it against him for the game. So he wants to bring Alyssa in with Michael and Brittany. And it's like, just keep going with that. Like, just try to get that group together. You've already been trying it. But this whole turn into trying to convince us that Taylor and Monty and Jasmine and Terrence are a tight group, like, there is evidence to the contrary.
Yes.
So this isn't working. And, Michael was hearing this. And so I do think that like Michael was considering, well, oops, if Monty's on the block and gets taken out, like maybe it's not horrible. But luckily Brittany was like, let's not forget that means Daniel's still in the house. Sure, everything you're saying about Monty, okay, yeah, he should go. But like, we're leaving Daniel in the house?
I think no matter what, their number one priority should be getting Daniel out before jury.
Yeah, it should be.
He might be influential in jury, and you really want his voice to be like who everybody's listening to in jury and his version of the stories. No.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be influential at all, but I still don't think he should be in jury.
He might be with like Alyssa and like Jasmine, and Indy.
Yeah.
Terrence, Terrence will be like, oh, anything you say is the truth.
Right. I mean, if Taylor's not in the jury and they're all sitting there just stewing over her, by the time,
Indy will be like, I knew it. She's going to make it. So.
And then she makes it to the end. She's doomed for sure. Well, so after Michael wins veto, Jasmine, who has played harder than she's ever played this game this weekend, she is ready to make a move. And she goes up to Michael and she's like, look, it's time. Keep Monty on the block and we're going to take him out. And she lays it all out for Michael by telling him who she's aligned with. She's like, you'll have votes from me. You'll have votes from Indy. You'll have votes from Terrence and Daniel and Alyssa. Like, she lays it out for Michael to make this big move, and good on her for trying to do it. But ultimately what she did was gave Michael all the real information that Kyle is out of his mind, but that group is actually really working together, not with Monty, not with Taylor, which Michael already knew Taylor wasn't in that group. But this is the proof he needed to know, oh yeah, I can't take Monty out. He is my number.
Mm-hmm.
We will not be leaving the
not right now. But like, you need Monty right now to take you. It's like you could probably get him in maybe 2 more. You could probably afford to lose him.
Agreed. Too early. And I'm so grateful that Jasmine played so hard and Michael is smart enough to realize, okay, that's her alliance. They're still together. They're still working together. Daniel has no need to come work with me. He's got that group. So today, Michael did take the trio of dudes off of the block, and Daniel and Kyle are sitting on up there.
Yes, we are winning. We are winning again. Do you think that Daniel
How
will?
are we winning?
How are we winning?
Yeah, like how did we
Oh,
get
how?
so
Yeah,
lucky?
like it's.
Like
I don't
every year, you guys were like, we can't get what we want,
know.
and this year is just delivering.
It's so delivering. It's so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder. I guess it won't be a blind side, but like it still will be nice to see him grovel a little bit.
Right. I want to see. I want to see what Daniel does. Like he
If it's his dream to be on the show, let's see you work some
right.
magic. I
He
mean,
said
he's
he
up,
worked.
he's up against. It will be challenging, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Kyle is well liked. He has a showman's. I mean, like you can come up, you can throw Kyle under the bus all over the place. Like do it.
Tell them about this new anti-POC alliance that he's building. Like
Yeah, I feel like as dramatic as Daniel has been over these weeks, like keep that energy going. Let's see some drama, get mad, get pouty, and make
work.
Kyle look like a target. Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely like I wouldn't be upset if Kyle's paranoia end up helping Daniel get the votes to stay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I have to love that just for like the love of the game. But I also do want Daniel.
I want Daniel gone before Jerry too.
For
I know.
Taylor's sake.
It's exactly. I'm of two minds of it, obviously, but I think it's better for the whole season if they honor why they kept Taylor in the game. And after this, then I think it's a little bit like, okay, free for all. You can do whatever you want now, but I think Daniel needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Jasmine, if I'm Indy, I would try do my best to get Kyle out. Like I would keep working. I would not just run with the house unless you realize you don't it's not working and you don't have the votes.
Are they going to
but
go
give it a
against
shot
Alyssa here?
I mean, they should. I mean, how
I'm also happy that Alyssa's getting the ick. Which is also
girl
hilarious.
Same. He does his TikTok thirst traps are ick. They are. That's what gave me the cringe before preseason. I was like, these TikToks are ugh.
People love it. Viral video. But I think it's hilarious.
I think she forgot about it already.
Oh, because they got some booze.
She's like, I love him so much.
I
kind of get the ick, but I love him so much.
I mean, that was actually really funny in the episode, though, when they're like making out a little bit, and then Jasmine's like, "You see my moments."
I don't even think that's what Jasmine said. I think that was just a voiceover. I think they just added that.
Maybe.
I was like, that's so clever. They just like throw in the muffin thing. That was really, really good. Okay, what else? Let's see. I think that was all. Oh, Michael's speech. Did you guys hear what Michael did?
Did he actually do it? I heard what he was planning on saying. I don't know if he actually said it.
Well, it sounds like he said it. I mean, hopefully we find out for sure on Wednesday. But he planned
fire.
He planned to say what Daniel said about Taylor week 1 when Daniel was HOH. So he was going to start like words from my favorite Elvis impersonator. I don't know if he said that part. You've been rubbing some people in the house the wrong way. I hope you take this opportunity to apologize. Those were the words he was planning on throwing back. But people were saying like, ooh, he was fire. He really sent that, like sounds like he did something along those lines.
I'm here for it.
Right?
Daniel needs a lot of humble pie, a lot of taste of his own medicine, like a lot of eating his words, like all of it. He needs all of it. And so I'm happy that he's getting a serving of humble pie courtesy of Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
As Taylor watches on. Not on the block.
Not on the block, sitting comfy. Yeah, I feel like, so we talked about how I feel like Daniel could probably go dramatic and we could get some drama with that. But also Kyle, who we've already seen starting to get paranoid at just the thought of going on the block. But do you think we can get like some real crazy paranoid Kyle this week? Like maybe he loses it.
He could lose it.
Especially if he hears like Daniel
He's not chill about
pitching
the block.
against it. No. And if
Like
Daniel's
Taylor was chill on the block, but he's not going to be chill on the block. And if he
no.
knows that Daniel is going to be trying everything and anything, like I think he's going to get paranoid for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll spiral.
So do we think that this is the last pre-juror?
That's my guess. That would be 5, and then it'll be 9, and then all right, and 2. Yeah, 9 jurors, 2
plus
final 2.
Final 2, 5 pre-jurors. So if that's the case, I think Besties will end then this week with that. I think they'll end with jury, right?
I would hope so. I don't know if he's starting the jury phase with a twist and then ending it like a week later. It seems a little silly.
Yeah. No, because I mean, I love it when they start jury with a double eviction and, so like end the twist, then next week, give us a double, start us in jury. Like that would be what I would like to see and what I feel like they might do. But I mean, I don't hate twists and I haven't hated this twist. But
because it worked out. It worked out. They got lucky that how things worked out because it could have been terrible. Okay,
yeah.
Imagine though how you would be feeling if Turner didn't go through with this. Taylor would be gone. That whole side of the house would be doing exactly what the leftovers are doing with them. So like out would be Joseph, out would be Turner, out would be, you know what I mean? Like all those people would be going out, run by Nicole, Amira, Daniel, Indy, Alyssa, like they would be running the game. And so we would have been very upset that there'd be no way to fight back against the big alliance. But it's because we like the leftovers that we like the twist. I think. I mean, or you're Sarah.
I mean, it's hard to say. Like I'm always open. I keep my mind open and positive. But yeah, we started the stream talking about how we didn't even want to watch the season in the beginning. So could have just kept us on that path, and we were like, what?
It was looking grim.
No, it is not a double this week. Definitely not. I am hoping next week is what I'm saying, but definitely not this week. All right, so more than likely Daniel is out this week, but I'm hoping that we at least see some try from Daniel and some drama and Kyle get paranoid. And honestly, if Kyle goes, that's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world at all.
Right? Anything else that has happened this weekend on the live feeds that you wanted to chat about?
No, I think you got it all.
Is there really something between Taylor and Joseph?
I mean, she did say to Brittany that she has a bit of a crushy poo on Joseph. Also, she's hearing that Joseph's ex-girlfriend looks like Taylor, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so hilarious! It's so funny." And so, I don't know what's happened because people were worried about her and her red wine that she might have a little bit of loose lips last night. I haven't heard anything about maybe, other than the fact that her and Alyssa were like kind of plotting like, okay, so like I'm gonna kiss Kyle and then like you're like you go and like kiss like Joseph, and like so they're kind of being all girly girl like with like the boys that they like and just like let's kiss them. So I don't think that the kiss happened, but I think that this flirt mans might stick around for a little bit.
Well, it scares me because every time Joseph flirts with someone, they get evicted. So I don't want, like, remember he cuddled with Amira the week she left. Nicole cuddled with him. It wasn't really him cuddling with Nicole, but I don't want it to be like the kiss of death.
Don't kiss him then. Don't cuddle with him, Taylor. Don't cuddle with her.
I hope that they're just having fun together. And then if they're really good together, right at the end of the game, they can go together and be a real couple. But I just am scarred by the fact that she had a crush on Daniel a few weeks ago. So
Yeah, I mean, Taylor might
thank
need to just
goodness.
simmer down and like just focus on the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. She might just be boy. I mean, Joseph's, he's a cutie patootie. So I can see how you'd be distracted by
And
him.
he's a
But
Leo, so Leos are always like
oh,
who people
charming,
gravitate towards.
charismatic.
Yes.
Yes.
So I can
Very
see
true.
her Capricorn self enjoying a little Leo. It's kind of like a Janelle Kaser combo, you know?
That's right. Alrighty, you guys. I believe that is it. That's where we are in the game right now. Everyone who joined us in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us. And if you are watching later, leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about how Michael's running this HOH, how you feel about Kyle and Daniel this week being the renoms.
I'm so excited actually to see the stock watch tomorrow or the roundtable because I want to see how much Kyle's stock drops. Like it's gonna be fun because he was doing pretty well. He had one of the top stocks and his ranking as a house guest was pretty high. And so I want to see how far the mighty have fallen, which will be entertaining.
Yeah. Well, he had good cards. Remember, he's got a winning card.
That's true.
So I'm still keeping my eye on how he maybe course corrects here. I'm not sure.
Oh, but he had the tower as well. Am I remembering that correctly? And if that's the case, then yeah, maybe everything's going to crumble around him.
Oh, this is it. It has crumbled.
It's crumbling.
It is falling.
What also could be like the new, like the leftovers even coming together, or it could be this new thing. Like maybe he is going to be the one that starts the dissolving of the leftovers, and then he's able to prevail still because he does have that. I think that side, like Alyssa and Indy and all them, they will forgive him no matter what, like no matter when that happens. So he could be good if he gets rid of all the leftovers. I could see him winning still.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, Michael's still working closely with him. He's not in a bad place. He's actually in a really good place. And honestly, Monty works closely with him too. Like the fact that he was against Monty now makes no sense because Monty is very loyal to Kyle.
100%. 100%.
It's insane, but all right. Anyway, okay. We'll see how it goes. And Chantele and I will be back Saturday for our challenge recap. That's the next time you'll see me and Chantele together. All right.
All right.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.